On
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in again. We are back with day 20 of the Mindset Makeover Challenge here with the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I am your host, ERGJ, your success coach and certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beatles in the building.
What's going on, wealthy, healthy, happy people? This is Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your neighborhood financial planner and your small business developer. And we are excited to be here, man, on day 20. What's going on to the people, man, that have jumped into our situation this morning? What's up, Kenny? What's up, Chef? What's happening, ERGJ?
Man, I'm doing well, man. We're just kind of cruising right on along. Got the day 20. I mean, day 20, to say the least. Day 20, 20 days straight of doing this thing. Just been a phenomenal journey, eye-opening, humbling in a sense as well. But really just kind of setting the tone as we move into 2016. So I'm super excited about what's to come. I'm super excited about life in general. Um, in this different season that I'm in personally, but just taking on this challenge uh, to establish a mindset of success, to really go after those things that are within me and develop some plans and processes around the way in order to get there, man. To be intentional with day-to-day activities, to be intentional with what I do with my life, man. It's just taking control of your life, man. I mean, at some point, this is going to be a topic of discussion. I know today we're talking about wisdom is better than gold, but I think that is wise to take
Yeah.
control of your life. So we are here focusing on those goals and being positively focused towards those things that we want to do, be, create, or become.
Man, he said a mouthful, didn't he? All right, man. So I got, so when we, all right, so when we started this journey, I remember you and I, we first having a conversation, and you said, look, man, I'm getting ready to do this blab. We're going to do the Earl Nightingale Challenge. And, whenever you can get on, man, just, get on, man. Show your face every now and then. But Evan was like, man, I'm holding it down. And there was something in me that just kind of pulled me out of my seat, man, and said, no, you going to do the whole 30 days as well. And excuse me. And so me taking the challenge and then looking what's transpired over the last 20 days, because at the beginning of this challenge is when I started developing the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy website. And as we started to progress in this challenge, the idea, the mission, it started to become much more clear to now it is the #1 marketplace for growing people, and I see what's happening right now. So I'm really excited about the content that's on our wealthyhealthyhappy.net website, because it really gives us some benchmarks, and it shows us that not only are we talking about it, but we're actually doing it, and we're actually creating we're recreating some real value, some real content. We're capturing that and then putting it somewhere for people to be able to take advantage of, man. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about each one teach one, and really doing a good job of, again, packaging that information and putting it somewhere. So make sure, if you have not gone, make sure you go to wealthyhealthyhappy.net and take a look around. The community is getting bigger. Oh, I wanted to say this. If you have content, if you have a product or service that you would like to have added to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Network, because this is what this thing is about. It's open source. I want to extend that opportunity, and so I will leave our information down here at the bottom so that you can send your email. We can talk about what your product and service is and how to get it on the website. But again, we definitely want to have your services there, because it takes a village to change what's going on right now, man. And we need to be the change in the world.
Need to be the change, man. That's awesome. So, huge opportunity for you that are listening to this. If you have a product or service, you're looking to expand, you're looking to connect, you're looking to do something extraordinary, then reach out to us and give us an opportunity to find out whether it's a good fit, and see if we can work together, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the same way that we're working together to put this show together, the same way that we work together to do a lot of other things. Let's connect and let's connect our networks in order to expand our territory. You can do that through partnerships, and that's what it's all about. And so today, guys, we are talking about wisdom is better than gold. Wisdom is better than gold. And as I was, Mr. Beers, as I was thinking about this, a couple things came. One, I asked myself, I know it to be true, but then I had to ask myself, why is it true? That's just one of those questions that I always ask. And then I also ask myself, when have I found it to be true in my life? And so I find it very interesting because I remember growing up that wisdom wasn't something that I chased. I chased money. I was always chasing, I was always chasing a dollar. I was always chasing getting paid more. I was always chasing that monetary thing. And I was hoping that, or I was of the belief that the more money that I made, then the happier I would be. Right? The more money that I make, the more that I can spend, the more that I can do. And it really wasn't about service. It was just about having more because that was, I don't know, the American dream that I had, that I believed that, was part of the makeup. But then as I've gotten older, I have found that money really doesn't make me happy. I mean, it's great to have. It's something that you bring value. You want to get paid for the value that you bring. It's more of it's more keeping score than it is than it is anything else. And so, but I found that going towards wisdom and chasing wisdom, chasing the thing or the intangible thing of being wise in my matters and how I operate and what I go after, I've really found that to be rewarding and fulfilling. I've literally turned down opportunities to make more money because it didn't make sense for where I was going in life. It didn't make sense for my dream, my desire, my aspiration. So even though I could be making a lot more money, with it came bondage in a sense for me, where I'm no longer free to do what I like to do, but I'm now up under this umbrella or up under this structure or system where that isn't necessarily what it is for me. And I found myself to be happier chasing wisdom and using wisdom to get gold than I have been chasing gold in order to find happiness.
Yeah. All right. So it's the so it sounds to me like it's the life lessons. You start to dig into that treasure of life lessons and remember. We're talking a little bit about the pain and the loss, and sometimes it takes us to kind of go through some heartache and some hardship for us to become aware of our current situation and then be able to change all things going forward. And that's so true, man. Like, we think that the American dream is having stuff, and I mean, stuff is kind of the byproduct of you really living a wealthy, healthy, and happy life. And it takes a lot of, it takes wisdom. It takes wisdom applied to change your situation. And when you think about what wisdom can do for you, it can exponentially grow your scoreboard, the stuff that you have in life. Like, wisdom is like the difference between playing checkers and playing chess. For those that understand both of those games, checkers is a simple it's a simple board game to play where you only have one or two moves. But chess is much different in the fact that you have to think through your moves. and you have to think through the steps that you're taking. And so what's really cool about this, and this idea is kind of evolving as I'm talking about it, but when you think about when you're thinking about chess, you and how it applies to wisdom, is you have to know strategy. You have to understand where you're going in life. And when you understand where you're going in life, when the opportunities, and there'll be all kinds of opportunities that present itself, you'll be able to decide whether the opportunity fits inside of your mission, inside of your worthy ideal. Are you going to add that to your bag, or is this something that's going to distract you? And again, unless you've had the enlightened moment, you don't necessarily know that. And so we have so what will happen is year over year or time over time, we may find ourselves wasting a lot of time. We might find ourselves hitting the walls and crashing into things because we have not arrived. But wisdom applied shows you that, man, everything that I do is not good for me. All money is not good money. Every opportunity is not a great opportunity, and every idea is not meant to be sought after. But you know that as you gain more wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom comes kind of over time as well. I was talking to a coworker yesterday, and he was saying, it was interesting. We started talking about this. He was talking about his PlayStation and how he had spent $300-400 on his PlayStation. It's a gaming console, and he never plays it. And now that he looks back on that money that he spent, he was like, man, what other things could I have done with this $300? It was like, in the moment, I wanted to get this PlayStation. I wanted to maybe play these games or had this time, but then he started realizing I don't have the time to play the games. I never even turn it on anymore, so now it's just sitting there. $300 is sitting there in his living room or wherever he has it, as an item that he purchased with that $300. And then he started asking himself, man, what else could I have done with this $300 that would have been more beneficial towards my mission? And so I think that was a great statement, because he said, what could I have done with this money that would have been that could have gone towards my mission? So now he realizes that the PlayStation wasn't a part, really doesn't play a part in his mission. It's obviously entertainment and activity that he doesn't even embark upon. But now he's wondering, man, what else could I have done that could have helped fuel me towards my mission, fuel me towards what it is that I'm becoming, or I am to do, or I'm to create. And I think that's that wisdom part. Like now, if he'd have known now, if he knew then what he knows now, he probably would have done something different. And that's a part of that journey, right? We got, and even when we do know, we still have to make those decisions. We have to decide whether we're going to walk in wisdom or not. We can know better and still not do better. And that's the big misnomer. People say that all the time. If you know better, you do better. I say, no, that's not true. It's not true that if you know better, you do better, because plenty of people know what they should and should not do, or what they could and could not do, and they still choose the latter.
To do whatever.
Yeah.
That's like Paul when he talks about in Romans. He said, that which I know I should be doing, I don't do, and that which I do, I hate. And we find ourselves in that situation again, like you say, all the time. But let's go back to the chess analogy, right? So your friend, he made a bad move. He took his pawn or his rook and he put it out of position. And when he touched that piece and you moved it, you can't move it back, right? So he doesn't get that $500 back or $400 back. It was a bad move. And it's not until he kind of starts seeing the game play out. And so a few months maybe down the road, or a few weeks down the road, he starts to see that, man, I probably really needed that $400. Or I could have took that $400 and I could have talked to my financial coach, and he could have showed me how to multiply my $400. I could have made a much, much better move if I would have took some time, sat back, got some counsel, and then positioned my pieces. That's wisdom.
Absolutely, guys. So we're talking about wisdom is better than gold. We've got a couple open seats available for anyone that wants to jump in and partake in the conversation, share your life experiences. It's not a me show; it's a we show. So we thank you so much for joining. Mr. Action Man is here. Kenny's back. Alicia's here. Raz Rising's here. Anyone wants to jump to a hot seat and share some things at the time? We've updated the topic to chess or checkers. Choose your life game. I'm familiar with both of those games, and checkers is a whole lot easier to play, a lot less rules. Of course, with checkers, we start making up our own rules. I don't think you can do that in chess.
Right. You want to double jump and triple jump, back jump and skip. Yeah.
But chess has its own set of rules that you have to play by those rules in order to capture that king on the other side, in order to win and conquer the board. I am tweeting right now. So as we think about, man, the how precious wisdom is, man, and choosing the wise road, and also not in just choosing it but acting it out. Oh wow, it's a great question. She said, chess, which is the most valuable piece?
It's the king.
Well, it's interesting. The king is the. That's a good question. When she says who's the most valuable piece, and I think it's hard to really say. It depends on your mindset, right? It depends on if you played chess. Anybody that's played chess, right? Everyone's probably going to say something different, right? Some people may say it's the queen. Right. I mean, we can really break down this chessboard, right? Because when you say what's the most valuable piece, you got way more pawns than you do have anything else. And the pawns can turn into any other piece if they make it to the end of the board, other than the king, right? They're the transformative piece. You've got the rooks who are back in the back as a back line to protect that king. They can switch off with that king to create that castle. They are the protectors. You got the bishops and the knights. I mean, whoo.
But when is the game over?
Oh, the game is over once you capture that king. Once you put that king in the checkmate. Once you can't move.
Yeah. That's the most valuable piece. You can take every other piece off the board, and you're fine. But when that king can't move no longer, it's a wrap.
Yeah, see, Raz depends on strategy. Front line just as important. That is a great question, man. Who's the most valuable piece on the chessboard, Mr. Action Man?
Action Man, what's happening? Man, your background gets brighter and brighter.
Yeah, because my day gets brighter and brighter every day.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, hey, I was alluding to that. I'm glad you took that alley-oop.
Boom. Slam dunk, bro.
What's up, man?
Nothing. As I heard you guys talking, I was on the phone listening as I was moseying out of bed, and then I came down to the office so I could get on. The first thing that came to me as far as wisdom is, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime.
Oh my God!
Right, yeah. And they say if you took all the wealth in the world, all the money in the world, and distributed it evenly, right, all the money would be back in the same hands as it is today within 3 years. Why is that? Because those who have the knowledge, right, the wisdom on how to make money, will just go and make money, and those who know how to spend money, just to go to the extreme opposite, will spend it. And that all comes with knowledge. If I gave you $1 million or taught you how to make $1 million, which would you want? I would want to be taught how to make $1 million, because then I could go more and more millions. And so when you guys made this wisdom, I know you changed it from chess or checkers, choose your life game, but I just want the wisdom.
Give me the wisdom, baby. Give me the wisdom And you're so right, man. Give me the wisdom, and I can do all things. And it is, and so, again, we have the opportunity to go back into our life lessons, dig down deep, and take a look at some of our losses, some of our successes, some of our victories, our valley moments. And you'll find so much. There's so many nuggets to be mined from those opportunities. Mr. Mike, the mentor, about your story and your story having a purpose. And every one of our stories has a purpose. And within that story, there's so much wealth that's laid up for us. But you have to be patient enough to go deep, mine those nuggets of wisdom, and then apply them going forward.
Yeah, I think Mr. Axelman said very, very true. He said wisdom is in the teaching, right? Because you can have all the knowledge in the world and still not apply it or know how to apply it, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to know, it's another thing to be wise enough to apply those things into your life.
So wisdom is knowledge
applied. Absolutely, it's got to be applied. Again, having it all up here, but never using it with your hands, your feet, your body, you know what I'm saying? What is knowledge if it's not applied? I mean, how valuable is it if you never apply it? How valuable is it if it's never taught in order to have someone else apply or delegate it? I mean, how valuable is the knowledge if it doesn't turn into an applicable state that can be used for the world? Wisdom is applied. It's actually, to me, even though it's a noun, it's an actionable noun. It's something that has fluidity to it. It's something that has a power behind it if it's applied. I mean, because you literally have to take it, what you know, and make it become functional in your life. I mean, plenty of people are smart, man. We have a lot of smart people. We have a lot of smart people in the world. We got accountants that are broke. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We got all these different phenomena in this world because what we know or what we've learned or what we've been taught hasn't necessarily been transformed into application. You know what I'm saying? Efficient application into our lives. I mean, and as you talk about your life and as you look at the life lessons and things like that, I don't think we do that enough. I don't think we look back over our life and say, man, what did I learn from this? You know what I mean? What did I learn from this, and how can I make sure that I apply what I learned moving forward?
There's life lessons in it all.
Absolutely.
It's called the silver lining, baby. And there's
my mom used to always say, my mom used to always say, when I was a kid, I was always somewhat of a perfectionist, even as a small child. And she said, mistakes were good as long as you learn from them. If you keep making the same mistake, now we have a challenge or a problem. But if you learn from your mistakes, and I think today as we grow up, too many people are fearful of making a mistake and not being perfect, and therefore they don't take any action, therefore don't get any results. They don't apply the knowledge in fear that they're not going to do it perfectly. I don't know why. Maybe society, maybe all these television ads, everybody needs to be this way, but nobody's putting themselves out there. I'd like to share. I was having this discussion with a friend of mine just yesterday. We talk about, hey, many people know what to do. You mentioned that earlier. And let's just say, for example, someone wants to lose weight and they drink a lot of sugary drinks. They know they should be drinking water, right?
They know
and they should be drinking 8 glasses. And I actually worked with a client one time that, amongst his other goals, he wanted to lose weight. And I said, well, are there any challenges you're having this week? Is there anything you'd like to work on and talk about in today's coaching call? And he says, I'm having a hard time drinking these 8 glasses of water. That was a noon call. See, he knew he needed to drink water, and he was trying to drink water. And I said, well, how many glasses of water have you drunk so far today? And he said, well, none. And it was noon. And I said, well, when do you start drinking your water? He's like, usually around 5. And he tries to drink 8 glasses from 5 till he goes to bed. So he didn't know how. He didn't know how to drink the water. right? So first you got to know what to
know how to
do.
drink.
Then we got those how-tos, and then sometimes then the knowledge comes along. Why do we need to drink the water? Because it flushes the system, it keeps us hydrated, it keeps metabolism up, all these other great things. And sometimes people are like, well, I know I should drink water, but really, as long as I drink something, I'm getting, you know, because people aren't knowledgeable. You need to go.
Got to be water inside.
You need to go through these steps. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know how you're doing it, and most importantly, you need that wisdom as to why you're doing things in this world. And I think too many people don't know why they're doing things, and they're walking through life blind. And you know, and it comes from a small upbringing, right? Parents say, "Oh, kid asks." I don't answer my son with "because I said so," because I want him to understand why he's doing things. I take the time to explain things, because too many times in life, not necessarily in mine, but I see it around, parents will say, "Why are you doing that?" The kid will say, "Well, why, mommy? Why, daddy?" "Because I said so." And that's not a good enough reason for people to do things. Not at that age, or not at our ages.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, that's so true, man. Like, again, giving them the life lesson, giving them the understanding so that they can then apply the information going forward. So they're not just walking blindly and without understanding or knowledge. You know, so we have to be able to give that. So for our young ones, this is a great each one teach one moment. For our young ones, we have to be able to do that, man. We have to open up the dialogue and be comfortable with having the conversation with our kids. And I like the way you segue to that, because we do that with Brooklyn and Kingston. That's my son and my daughter. And it's not just a because I said so type of moment. It's a, okay, this is the reason why I need you to do this. And then if I tell them no, I also give them and this is the reason why I'm telling you no. And so maybe it's no for now.
Yeah.
But
because you're teaching them to think. You're teaching them to think.
Absolutely. So
knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah. So you have to give them those nuggets. But again, we do that now because we're more aware of how that affects and influences the big picture.
Yeah.
Evan, it looked like I hit you hard there, man. You sat back like this for like.
Well, yeah. So I was I'm gonna ask you a question, and it's funny because in one of the audios that I have, he talks about how we have to teach the kids not just what to think, but how to think. But you mentioned, and I was thinking about this water analogy, right? Of knowing, you know what to do, knowing how to do it, and then why to do it, right? And then I'm wondering, like, after all of that comes into play, then what is that process? What is that what was those tangible, actionable steps for him to actually go and start doing it, right? Because even after all of that, even after knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, and knowing why to do it, we still have people that still just don't do it. It's the biggest thing, right? Negligence. Like, I'm going to neglect my body until my body says, go to the hospital.
Pain. You gotta experience enough pain for you to change.
It's not even pain. I got to see my belt get to the point where I got to buy a new one before I change, right? I mean, what?
Hey, that's pain.
Well, then, if you want to add one on to that what, how, why, and then your why. So in his case, the reason he wanted to lose some weight was he was about to have a brand new daughter. And, having a new little one around the house is a lot of energy, right? And he had let himself go a little bit. And he wanted to have energy for his daughter. So then it goes back to how deep is your why? Is your why big enough?
Okay.
So what, how, why, and then is your why big enough to do all these things once you obtain that knowledge? And that should hopefully shift you. If that doesn't shift you, you're hopeless. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus.
But
yeah, man, the why has to be the driver. It does. It has to be the driver. And once you have identified a big enough why, what'll start happening is that you'll also start to be able to apply the wisdom. Because in my opinion, I think when you have a big enough why, you'll research the knowledge, you'll get the understanding for how to apply actionable steps going forward. And that becomes the wisdom over time.
yes.
Yeah, well, many of us can go through that and we can get started, but we don't finish. Right?
Because you forget to go back to your why.
Yeah.
Why did I start to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can feel like you arrived, like I've done it long enough. I put in enough energy. I drank enough water, man. Now I can go back to being how I used to be, or
Oh my God.
And what I say is track what you're doing, right? See what happens, see what gets you results. And then when you fall off the wagon, and what I do with my clients, I say, let's go back to that spreadsheet that we shared. Let's go back and see what actions you were taking when you were getting results. Are they the same actions now? This is not like a 3-month thing. This is a lifestyle change so that you could obtain the real things you want in life. So this is what got you results, and that's why we track, right? Let's continue to do that if you want to continue to have those types of results in your life.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So
That's
they get
good.
to reference their actions, not what I told them, what they were actually doing when they were getting results, because we write these things down. And then
So you look at the so it's kind of like a sine wave, right? And we kind of go through life, and our lives kind of do this. They peak and they valley, they peak and they valley, they peak and they valley. And so you get into a learned knowledge. This is where, I've learned something new. I'm taking action. So I've learned something new, and now I'm taking action. And so now my information is going like this. My activity is going like this. And then I get to a place, and I don't know what that place is for you. And you plateau, and you go like this. So you start flatlining. And then what happens is after you've plateaued for a while, you get bored, you drop your activity, and now you are on the down cycle. And you can apply that to your diet. You can apply that to going to college. You can apply that to maybe your relationships. It's the activity, the plateau, and then normally we are hitting the valley. And so the challenge today is use the wisdom, use the lessons learned, use some of the failures of life, and say, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. And so what I want to do is I want to always be in activity mode, constantly progressing towards my worthy ideal, as Earl Nightingale so eloquently puts it in The Strangest Secret. And if you have not connected to The Strangest Secret, guess where you need to go? wealthyhealthyhappy.net. Scroll down to the bottom, push that play button, and it's only 30 minutes. So while you are on your way to work today, or while you're in your shower, or maybe when you get out your shower, listen to that audio, and it will absolutely change the way that you think.
Absolutely, man. That's one of those things I keep saying, like, man, why wasn't that a mandatory thing for us to listen to in school, man? Some of these,
because it will make us smart. It'd make us smart, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to be a business owner and not an employee, and it's not good for the system.
Not good for the system. Fantastic. Well, it is Friday, guys. Day number 20 of the Mindset Makeover Challenge. Hopefully you guys have been tracking along with us. Hopefully you've taken on the challenge and started to see some of your behavior, your thoughts, the way that you think start to upgrade a little bit and change and be a part of this movement, man. It's the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. This is your host, ERGJ, saying happy Friday to you. Thanks so much for joining. We got Mr. Peters in the building.
What's happening, everybody? And thank everybody for joining today. Let me see. I want to give a few shout outs right quick. What's up, Trees? What's happening? We got Raz Rise. We also have Ralph. Ralph has been on with us the whole time. We had the Action Man here today. We also have Felicia. Make sure that you guys are following these people if you are just now joining. We got the Chef. Chef, we missed you on the show today. Chef, we really wanted to see you. We could have wiped crust out your eye and jumped in the hot seat, but you didn't. But man, it's been a great week, man. We are really, really changing, and I'm feeling the change, and I know that you are probably having some success as well, and we need to hear from you. So go to wealthyhealthyhappy.net and take a look around. Take a look at some of them blogs if you're just now joining.
Yeah,
some good stuff.
We're capturing the stuff for you so that later on, people that come into the network later can still be exposed to the things we did earlier. So we're tracking as we speak. So thanks so much again for joining, guys. We are wealthy, we are healthy, we are happy, and we are out. Have a great weekend.
And we're out.